Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Central Texas High School Football Preview Show on KXAN Plus. I'm your host, Billy Gates, and we've got a jam-packed schedule of prep football this weekend. It's the last weekend of the regular season, so playoff tickets are being punched, and there are a boatload of ball games around the Central Texas area that have playoff implications. Here to talk about it is KXAN Sports Director Roger Wallace. And Roger, we've got a pretty big game tonight on KBVO, our game of the week. It's Anderson versus Weiss at 7:30. The Trojans have a shot to run the table the regular season to be 8-0 in district play. However, Weiss has got to be pretty mad about their toe stubbing last week against College Station. They fall 35-31, drops them to fourth place in the division. Still a playoff team, but you got to assume that Weiss has a pretty sour taste in their mouth about that game.
Yeah, they could have been coming into this game with a chance to share a district championship. Instead, they're locked into the number 4 seed in that district. So as far as that goes, they know what's ahead of them as far as the postseason. Anderson, they want the district title outright, and for them to do that, they need a win here to run the table. A&M Consolidated has just one loss. They should win their last game. Now, Anderson won the head-to-head, so they would be the top seed, but A&M Consolidated will claim a share of the district title. So there you see nothing really at stake for playoff positioning, but so much at stake. You think about Anderson, they've never had a perfect regular season in their school's history, trying to do that. Weiss, a very young team with so much Division I talent on that team, and including their sophomore quarterback, Jackson Shadbilly. He's going to come close to 6,000 yards passing in his first 2 years of high school. That's freshman and sophomore year.
And then they've crazy.
Yeah, they've got D1 talent all over the field. Trey Moore is a junior receiver. He's got offers from everyone. He's going to Tech this weekend for a visit. J.J. Mays, their center's committed to Texas Tech, so they've got a bunch of outstanding players. And Anderson's got the Caleb Crenshaw storyline, trying to break not only the AISD rushing record, but oh, by the way, Cedric Alexander, who happens to be his cousin, the running back at Vanderbilt, holds that record. So he needs 140 yards tonight. I think there's a good shot. Weiss gave up a bunch of rushing yards last week to College Station, over 340. So there are some great storylines tonight out at the field at 7 o'clock on KBVO.
Yeah, so let's go to our full screen here. Number 8, Anderson. They are 8th ranked in the 5A Division I poll over at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. They're taking on Weiss at the field. Last week, Anderson is coming off a bye, so they've had a couple weeks to prepare for the Wolves. And as we mentioned earlier, the Wolves stubbed their toe against College Station, losing 35-31. Below you have the seedings that are locked in. College Station lost to Consolidated, so it should be a 1, 2, 3, 4 deal here in that region. So not a ton of drama there. However, the same cannot be said for our 6A division, our KXAN Plus game. We have Friday, Dripping Springs versus Westlake. Dripping Springs ranked number 13 in 6A, Westlake 15. Just a classic battle. These past 2 years with Dripping Springs come up to 6A, they've come to play ball, Roger.
Yeah, and this is all about positioning. We know the 4 playoff teams. That was set when Bowie won their game last week against Austin High, and they're done. So they know that they're in, and they're going to be the 2 seed out of Division I in that district. But this Westlake Del Valley game has got a lot on the line here because of how it would play out in the playoff situation. So Lake Travis should handle their business tonight against Austin High, be the outright district champion. But you're going to have a scenario where you're going to have potentially a Westlake or Dripping Springs versus Vandergrift in the first round of the playoffs. Vandergrift and Westlake both went to the state title game in 6A. Vandergrift won the D2. Westlake lost the D1. So to think that there could be a first-round matchup there is pretty amazing. But that 25-6A, Billy, get out your computer to try to figure all that out.
Get the abacus, the slide rule, everything. Yeah, we'll talk about 25-6A here. Let's just go to our full screen for the KXAN Plus and KXAN.com game of the week. Dripping Springs at Westlake. That's 7 p.m. That's a change. So they moved it up from 7:30 to 7. So mark your calendars for Friday. Dripping Springs coming off a bye. Westlake just throttled Del Valle 71-7. Nothing to see there. As we've been talking about these Friday matchups in District 25, Roger, these are big.
Yeah, and if you're wondering what I'm talking about with Westlake and Vandergrift, this game is for the 2 seed, or for the 1 seed of the Division 2 in that district. Dripping Springs and Westlake are going Division 2 in 6A. So the winner of this game will host, and they'll be the top seed. The loser will be on the road. They'll be the 2 seed. So again, if Vandergrift is the top seed in D1 in 25 6A, then they would play Westlake or Dripping Springs, the loser of this game, in the first round. That's where you come up with a rather remarkable first round. But Vandergrift's got, you saw the graphic, Vandergrift's got their hands full with Round Rock. That's always a good ball game. Round Rock a little bit down this year, but they've got an excellent chance of getting in the playoffs, and that could be by virtue of a 3-way tie for that 3rd and 4th spot, in which case they would come out on the right side of it because of point differential.
Well, everybody loves a point differential tiebreaker these days. But yeah, this District 25, Roger, it is just, it's cluttered, it's crazy. And let's go back to our graphic here. Yes, McNeil and Hutto, that's gonna end up mattering. Vandergrift, Round Rock, as we've said. So all the top 4 teams here in action. Vista Ridge could end up being the odd man out. McNeil could be. A lot of drama headed into the last week here. And we've got some 5A games on here. Georgetown Cedar Park, Roger, that's for a district title, I believe. I think Georgetown can hang on. Yeah, that is for a district title, actually.
Yeah, they would share.
Yeah, they would share.
Cedar Park's got a loss. Georgetown undefeated.
Yeah.
In district play, but again, that could affect the seedings down a little bit lower in the district, because Eastview also is in the conversation for a host, but they would need Cedar Park to lose.
Yeah.
And if they beat Leander, they're both at 2 losses. They would have the tiebreak there. So, there's a lot going on. And in 5A and 6A, if you're one of the top seeds, you get to play a home playoff game. That's the other part of the equation. Want to go back? Can we go back to 25 6A and kind of explain what I was talking about? If there's a 3-way tie, so if there's a 3-way tie between Round Rock, McNeil, and Vista Ridge, that would mean Round Rock loses, McNeil loses, and Vista Ridge wins. They're all 5-3. None of that is out of the question, right?
Right.
So the 3-way tie would have Round Rock and Vista Ridge in, and McNeil would be the odd team out because of point differential. Round Rock beat McNeil, so that's how they get into the equation. And Vista Ridge beat Round Rock. McNeil beat Vista Ridge, but it would be the point differential that decides that. Hutto could, at worst, share a district title with Vandergrift if they get a win over McNeil, but that's no gimme. And then, again, Vandergrift could, at worst, shy, or they could win it outright as well if they beat Round Rock and Hutto loses. You follow all that?
I'll have to listen to the playback on this to really absorb all the information.
Let's put it this way. Tomorrow night at about 11 o'clock,
yeah,
it'll all come into focus.
Exactly. When all the games are done, we'll know for sure. But, man, yeah, what a final week of the high school football season here in Texas. I mean, it's always crazy in some respects. There's always one or two districts that are wild when it comes down to the last week of the season, Roger. We look at Friday a little bit more. We were talking before we started recording this. Bastrop and Liberty Hill. That's got district title implications.
That's
as well.
right. They're both undefeated. So the outright district champ will come from that game. It's at Liberty Hill. You talk about contrasting styles. Right. Liberty Hill is going to run the ball every time. Bastrop throws it just about every time with Weston Nielsen. And so that's a fascinating matchup on the field. And then what's at stake, obviously, a district championship. So that's going to be a fun one. We know, both teams are in the postseason. That district is pretty well set. There'd have to be a pretty big surprise there. Conley would have to beat Pflugerville, and McCallum would have to lose their ball game in order for Conley to get into the playoffs. But that one's pretty well set. But this is great because, so much is on the line in these ball games, and whether it's a chance for a trophy, if you get a chance to win or share a district title, getting into the playoffs. We don't really have many get in or out games. If teams lose, it's probably going to come down to something. There are a few. Vista Ridge has to win. They're not going to get in at 4-4. And so those are always fun. But between district titles, playoff positioning, hosting or not hosting, it's going to be a wild Friday night. And
now that we mentioned the Bastrop Bears, want to go to the Dave Campbell's Texas Football 5A Division II rankings, and maybe hit the button. Look who's there at number 8. The Bastrop Bears got into the poll finally. They were number 10 last week. They'd been out of the poll for pretty much the entire season until finally they got some respect put on their name. So they're there in the 5A Division II poll. If we go backward to Division I, your Anderson Trojans are there at number 8. Georgetown moves into number 10, and Weiss was knocked out of their poll after that loss to College Station. 6A, little bit of the same old song and dance. Lake Travis, they're at 4. Dripping Springs, they're at 13, and Westlake at 15. That's kind of weird to see Westlake below Dripping Springs, but hey, good for the Tigers for getting that much respect in that poll, and we're going to find out, who's better on Friday night at the KXAN Plus Game of the Week. That'll be 7 p.m., a 6:50 broadcast start time. Our friends over at the Westlake Technical Entertainment crew will bring us that broadcast. So big thanks to them all year for giving us Westlake. Roger, anything else Friday night that kind of raises your eyebrows a bit?
Well, if you go down to 14-4-8 D1, LBJ is on their way to a district championship, but you got some schools in there that we don't think of when it comes to playoff time. They're going to find themselves in the playoffs. Taylor lost to LBJ last week. They came out, played well early on, and then just too much LBJ. But they're sitting there at 4-1. Manor New Tech's got a chance to get into the postseason. They're 3-2, and they beat Travis in a head-to-head if it comes down to that. So good chance that they'll get into the postseason. And a lot of times when we drop down lower than 5A, kind of goes a little bit forgotten. But that's something I'm kind of keeping an eye on. LBJ, they play tonight, and they should close out with a perfect district record again as well. So I'm just fascinated with our game because there's so much talent. The Caleb Crenshaw storyline trying to break the record for AISD rushing, and to see all this Weiss talent on the field as well. Anderson going for a perfect season. I mean, the only thing that's not set up is the Weiss loss last week takes the positioning a little bit out of it. But I think it should be worth tuning in at 7 o'clock on KBVO. We've had some good ones the last few weeks, so we think we'll have a good one this time as well.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if this goes 52-50 to multiple overtimes. Like that'd be fun.
I'll take a long night. I'm okay. I'm not going anywhere tomorrow.
We've got time.
No planes to get on tomorrow morning.
Yeah, we've got all weekend to have some high school football here in Central Texas. All right, well, we will leave it there for this episode of the Central Texas High School Football Preview. For Roger Wallace, I'm Billy Gates. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon.